Okay, great. You're going through the motions you got in the introduction. Just a little taster about what the apps business is about. I also introduced myself and sort of the types of business that I've been doing with apps. Now I'm going to go over my methodology. Now, I use this methodology for all my business. I don't have businesses just in apps, but I have it in consulting, I have it in training, coursework like we're doing now. In addition, e-commerce sites, and then I have my app business. So my methodology is always about a thing called business hacking, right? So I don't like to create businesses, right? If I'm creating a business, it could be different than when I'm buying a business. But when I create a business, I like to make sure that there's a market for it. And the only way that you're going to find out if there's a market for it is if you see other people or other examples of people doing that business very successfully. And now with the sort of internet and the things that we're doing and so forth, all this information is readily available. Like there's never been a time in history where this information isn't readily available, right? So I don't want when people, especially if you're going to do your first app, because when you do your first app, you want to be successful. And then when you're successful, maybe you can experiment and try new innovative ideas and so forth, but just be successful on the first app. It's not that hard to do. So don't reinvent the wheel. Don't try to get something or an idea out of your head and then try to execute on it, right? And then also, when you're thinking of your different business app ideas, you don't want to constantly look at different ideas. Think of one idea, put it in your head, and then execute it. Don't try to do 2 or 3 apps before you even did one successfully. Do one successfully, and then sky's the limit. So I'm just going to go through a different website and tools that you can use to see whether an app is successful or not. So when I'm looking at different apps and so forth, and I want to think of a new app, the first place I go to is a thing called App Annie. If you can see it on the browser, it's right up here, appannie.com. You sign up, you get an account, and then you go from there. So you're going to go to market data, just so you know some of the apps that are successful. So I'm going to go to store stats. Okay, so I'm here in store stats. You see here, these are the top charts. These are the top overall apps in iOS. I tend to focus on iOS because those are the apps where users tend to purchase the most. There's still a lot of money in the Android store. I haven't even thought of doing anything in Windows based applications because the number of people that actually use Windows, I can't even think of one. So I focus on iOS mostly if I want to monetize an app. If I want to gather a lot of users, I definitely focus on Google Play, where I'm offering certain things and value to people, and then I generally go on Google Play. So if you see here, I wouldn't focus on replicating apps that are in the sort of top overall apps. The reason being is these apps are generally one thing, multi-million dollar budgets to start these apps. So they're going to be very hard to replicate because so many people have, paid so much money for these apps. And if it's not like a multi-million dollar budgeted app and it's on this top overall list, it's not going to be there for long because the multi-million dollar companies will figure ways to move that thing out. So I like to focus on education apps. So here's an education thing. I like to use App Annie. The reason being is because App Annie generally gives not just 1 to 100 like the iTunes store, but it gives you the top 1,000 apps in every category, right? So now I'm in the education apps, and then you see, different education apps. So obviously, free apps are great, but you want to focus on apps that are top grossing. That means they're making the most money, right? So I'm gonna be here. So like for example, here, peak brain training, right? So generally, what these apps um, are, when you see the money sign right here, it means that these apps are having in-app purchases. So these money signs here means that like they're generally giving away these apps for free, and that if you want to pay money for something, you just pay for the in-app purchase. I'm sure you guys are familiar with that. So you're gonna right click the Peak Brain Training app, and then let's open up a couple of things. Endless reader, learn French with Babbel. I know Babbel is sort of a huge company, so I tend to not focus on replicating apps from large companies. But we'll see this Peak brain training in a minute when it loads up. Let's see. Well, you don't even need to be in the top 100 apps. You could do in the top 1,000 apps. It doesn't matter because all these apps here are making a significant amount of money. So there's alphabet apps. There's whatever dictionary apps. So Sego. I tend to stay away from games. So if something looks like a game, I'm around it. So look at this. Over 30 fun games in sort of brain training, right? Sort of level the IQ. It looks very simple idea, right? We're looking at the screenshots of the app. There's some marketing techniques that they're using to get so many downloads. Best score. This game is more like a game, so I won't really focus on that. So let me go reference apps. I mean, there's so many here that I could be looking at, but I also want to go through the store and look at different apps that you could potentially look at. There's shopping, there's whatever, right? The purpose of this is not for me to pick you the app, right? But essentially to teach you the technique of finding a profitable app idea. So sports. Okay. Okay, so I'm now in the reference section, and what you'll see is there are a bunch of apps here. So there are Bible apps, so we're not too interested about that. There's Islamic apps, so maybe if you're looking at an Islamic app that you'd like to replicate. So here, Skyview application. Like, how do you view the stars? So here, App Annie actually gives me store stats, what's it been doing for the sky view. I want to see the pictures. Here it is. This is pretty cool where they say where the different stars are and so on and so forth, right? You might not be an astrologist. You might not know anything about stars and like declination and altitude of a planet and all that. That's fine. Don't worry about that. We can get that made. No issues at all. And you see that the price of this app is $2.99, right? Then, okay, so say I like this app. So I'm going to copy. I want to see how much this app is making a day, or a month actually. So I go to Sensor Tower, paste, right? And then just do that. Okay, so this app is making $58,000 a month. Okay, so it's a pretty good app to copy. So if you if you do this app, right, very similar to it, maybe actually better marketing, right? Because what we could do, the beauty of Sensor Tower is also we could see the reviews, right? All right, so it's loading. So it's mostly positive, it's a 4.9 app, people love it, but worth 4 times the price, this and that, quality. I purposely have picked this app because I want to make sure that people realize that you don't need to be an expert in this. So say we're looking for 1-star reviews. Maybe there are things that person didn't include. All in different languages, not English. All right, so. Alright, so let's just do in the United States, because I'm getting a bunch of languages that are not US languages, English language. Alright, critical, the most critical. Oh, okay, that's why, the date. In the last 365, what are some things people are saying about this app? This app is gorgeous, minus it does not align with cardinal directions. So maybe if you'd want to create an app that's just like this, but have something that has cardinal directions. Notifications of astronomical events hasn't worked in some time. This app has an issue about astronomical events and all that. It's off by 30 degrees. If you live in a city and forget this app, when you look at the sky, you see only a few of the brightest stars. Looks nice, but cripples iPhone 6. So the app is a bit heavy and stuff like that. So when you're thinking about it, it's a $58,000 a month app that's making. And actually, I'm sure they have multiple versions. So I would go to this publisher and see what other apps that they have. So they have also a $9.99 app. It's pretty expensive. Cosmographia. Okay, and then because once you create an app that is sort of one way, you could create similar apps and you sort of multiply your revenues from it. So this app is making around $5,000. Also Skyview, Sky Guide. So you definitely see that. I mean, there's a huge demand for sort of these astronomy types of apps. Let's do an app that's not making $60,000 because not all apps do that well. Let's see. I'm just randomly picking. Let's do an app in the Islamic space. Let's see. Islam. Okay, so here's a prayer app that we want to check out. Adhan Pro for Muslim prayer. So who makes this? Quantic Apps. So let's see this app right here. I'm gonna put it up. So this app's making around $5,000 a month. It's getting 39,000 downloads. It's doing pretty well. You might want to create an Adhan app. Let's see. Wow, looks nice. It's a really nice app. Reviews. So let's go to the one-star reviews. See, maybe we could create an Adyen app that's much nicer. Let's see. The weather dashboard is not correct in the app, so that people are complaining about that. Let's see. I can't hear the Adyen when I hit. So it seems like this app has a lot of bugs. So if you were able to create an Adyen app that had less bugs, then you could potentially, rank pretty high in the App Store if you use the methods that I'm going to teach in the supplementary marketing section of the course. And this actually gives you information about. What you do need to realize is that any sort of information about this app is completely available on the App Annie store. So, there's so much intelligence, daily ranks, store stats, rank history. You never have to feel like, you're not getting enough information about what's going on in terms of the stores and so on and so forth. I mean, there's never been a time where getting that type of information wasn't available, and so it's pretty remarkable, incredible, and I really hope that with this video that you're going to be really encouraged by knowing what apps actually work, right? Because the goal of this is to have a hungry market and you just serve it. The reason being is that, like I said in the last video, you have the apps business going from 25 billion to 37 billion by 2016, right? 37 billion from 25 billion, that means it's growing by 50%. So even these apps that are popular today, right, are going to grow even more. They're going to get more business, right? Might be more competition, but if you use very smart marketing techniques that I show in the supplement, you're going to really have an advantage over the other applications, especially in the iOS store, inshallah. So this is how I choose an app, right? I look at their revenues, I look at their ranks, what they're positioning. I also look at their keywords. So I look at their keywords, where they rank, what are the top keywords for this app, right? This is huge information, right? So like when people are searching for Adyen, these guys are number one. There's Arabic here, Awqat al-Salat, and that's number 2. Muslim, they're number 3. Islam, they're number 7. So they have really amazing rankings on this thing. So, whoever's going to compete to them, they're going to have to get very similar rankings. But this is really valuable information, as I'll show you later on, because you're going to be able to put all these keywords, and so you could rank on them, inshallah ta'ala. Okay, with this video, now you have sort of a good idea. Just to recap, when you're thinking about an app, first place you go is Sensor Tower to find the different rankings. Once you get the rankings, you're going to go to App Annie to find the different rankings. Once you find these rankings, you go to Sensor Tower, get a good idea of how much they're making the app. Also, on Sensor Tower, you get to see how well they're marketing the app. So here, you see that they have a B ranking for their app. So their marketing is pretty good. They have good visibility and so forth, right? And these are the sort of keywords that they're using. So you're gonna go to Sensor Tower, get an idea how much their revenues are. If the revenues is satisfactory to you, then you're gonna go ahead and get started on the app. And so the next video I'm gonna go is I'm gonna show you how to find the developer so you can rapidly start developing this app and go from there. Thank you very much. I hope that everybody is learning a lot, and inshallah, let me know if you have any questions in the comment section below. Inshallah ta'ala. Yalla. I'll talk to you soon. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.